Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Starlight Beacon Transmissions. We are joined today by one of my good friends that I've actually met through Star Wars content creation.
Mhm.
You know them, you love them. Huge part of our RPG, which we need to get the band back together for that.
Oh, we really do. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, but a lot of us are busy. Joining me today is my good friend Catrina Dennis. Katrina, it has been forever.
I know. I've missed you
Yes,
so much. I've tried to
yes,
I've tried to lurk in chat every once in a while
yeah,
when y'all are live and stuff, but I'm so excited to be here and thank you so much for having me
of
on.
course.
Yeah, we got a lot to chat about.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing new going on in your life, like nothing exciting, right? Like
No,
nothing
not at
that you're
all.
about to launch, nothing,
No,
nothing,
I don't know
no.
what you're talking about.
Yeah, no. Um,
Oh.
so the other day or the other week, I reached out to Katrina. Katrina, you're about to start a brand new uh geeky beauty line, which is
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah, I am so excited. It is called Boldly Glow Beauty, and it's something that I've wanted to do for a few years now, and just a number of factors sort of came together, and I was like, let's do this. Like, why am I so afraid of it? Let's, if you never know until you try. And so here I am, trying. I started, in this realm of the beauty industry, almost 15 years ago as a Sephora beauty advisor, way back when. And that's really where I learned, because I grew up a tomboy. So Sephora, and I can't speak to what they do today. I have no
Yeah.
idea. But when I was working at Sephora as a beauty advisor, we would have weekly classes that taught us the science of the makeup that we were selling to people. And it told, that's how I learned, to recommend this product for this kind of skin type. And then if they don't have that and they have like oily or combination skin,
Hmm.
recommend them this product as opposed to that one. So a lot of that training is something that stuck with me for a very long time. I've done a lot of cosmetology studies, and I love doing science. So, all of these things, plus the fact that this is a nerdy beauty brand, all sort of collided into what I'm about to launch. And yeah, and I'm so excited and overwhelmed, and I can't wait. We're gonna launch on April 5th, with our very first line. And I'm hyped to talk about that, but I don't know if you're gonna set me up with questions, so I'm gonna not blow
I
through it.
mean, you can talk about it however you want. I'm
Oh, good.
actually going to share your I'm going to share your website actually right now in the or your Blue Sky right now because
Yeah.
we have to yeah, so I'm actually going to screen share this real quick. That way for those that are watching, they can see all of the hard work that you've been putting on here
Yeah.
with boldly going boldly glow beauty. I want to call it
Yes.
going
I
because of
know.
Star Trek.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I won't even lie. The title is directly inspired by my love
Mhm.
of Star Trek. It is inspired by the first line that we're going to launch on April 5th, and that's our Bridge Crew line.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about this. So a little history on this. About a year ago, I put together a collection of beauty products inspired by Star Trek: The Next Generation. And it's something that was like kind of cooking in my head for about 2 years before that. And I had developed the idea, the ability to do this art finally, like after all of this practice. So I put that together and I posted it on the site formerly known as Twitter, and it blew up. Like it
Yeah.
exploded, and people were like, "Where can I get this? When can I get this?" And it was directly inspired, like specifically by the LCARS displays that debuted in TNG, that were created by Mike Okuda. And he commented on it and said, I would like two of everything. And I was like, oh, maybe I should get serious about this. And later that year, I took a meeting with Paramount and they loved it. And so I was like, okay, now I need to have a brand so that
Yeah.
I can do this collaboration with Paramount eventually someday. So this is sort of my, this isn't this collection is not a Paramount collaboration, but it
Hmm.
is the start of my, my way toward it, I hope.
Yeah.
And so it's called Bridge Crew, and it's inspired by the uniforms of Star Trek: The Next Generation. This is the Trek that I grew up with. I was born a few months after The Next Generation debuted. If anyone wants to date how old that is,
I think you and I are in the same boat right now.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're in
Yeah.
about the same age bracket, so you know.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Totally.
So the series is really special to me.
Yeah.
Those were I have been going to Star Trek conventions since I was a toddler because my
Hmm.
dad would just haul me up and take me with him to give my mom a break during the day. So the first sci-fi actors I met at conventions were Star Trek actors who like
That's
met me
awesome.
as a baby. I can't tell you who they were. My dad has specifically. My dad has the photos and stuff,
Yeah.
but these were like I like to joke that the crew of the Enterprise D were my babysitters growing up because
Hmm.
for the first, I think, 6 years of my life, this show was on, and it was the most influential Star Trek show that I watched, and it also led me to be curious about the shows that came after and the show that came before.
Yeah.
So yeah, so Bridge Crew has 3 lip balms. This is one of the things that I really wanted to do with Boldly Glow was create a product line and a brand where everyone felt like they could pick something up and start using it. So whether you're new to makeup or you don't know really too much about it, I wanted to create something that was very accessible to people, that cosplayers who were looking for high level pigment could go for, but newbies could also go like, well, I don't want to wear any color, and then boom, we have lip balm. So
Yeah.
this is our first line ever. There's going to be a lot more coming up in the future. We have plenty of different lines and releases planned for the next like 2 years. And so this one is a colorless line of lip balms based on the uniforms of TNG. They come in 3 flavors. That's Command here in red for the Command Department,
Yep.
the Science Department in its beautiful teal blue. I love it. This is like my favorite simply because like I've always loved the science blue, but I specifically love the ones the hues of it from TNG
Yeah.
and from DS9.
Yes.
They're like my favorite colors. So I was really excited to like finally perfect science. This is lavender flavored, Command is
Hmm.
peppermint flavored, and Operations is citrus flavored. They are vegan, they're cruelty free, they have been
Nice.
product. Yeah, that was the other thing about making this an accessible brand was I have a lot of friends, and specifically friends in the Star Trek space,
Yeah.
who have allergies and they can't use certain makeup products. So one of the driving factors that's always going to be consistent with our brand is that it's going to be vegan so that more people can use these things. And yeah, and I'm just so proud of it. I'm so happy, and my partner Thomas Maroney, who's the art director for Star Trek Online and the man that built the Enterprise F, actually just finished designing new labels for these. So
Ooh.
later this week, before we launch, we will be debuting those plussed up labels. It'll still be these cosplaying lip balms
Yeah.
essentially. But the backside of it, the parts with all of the ingredients and the name of the line and all of that, that's like very cleaned up in ways that were beyond my imagination. So I'm
Nice.
really excited about this.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. I'm looking at the operations one right now in the screen share, and I love that you went with like the Tasha Yar operations
Yes.
uniform for this, and then
And
of
if you
course, yeah,
oh,
go
please
ahead.
go on.
Um, and like of course like that's the ultimate person I think of in operations like on the Enterprise D until like
Hmm.
Worf plays a more significant role.
Right.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, the if you look at the pips, they're
yeah,
actually very subtle nods to specific characters. So obviously, 4 pips on Command. This is,
yeah,
my secret Picard lip balm. This is my dedication to him. Three
yeah.
pips for Commander Dr. Beverly Crusher. And then these Lieutenant Commander pips are a nod to Geordie and all the folks
Yeah.
who have, all the folks who have had those rankings essentially on the Enterprise D. So yeah, so I wanted to, I think the thing we all look for as geeky people is are ways to show off our fandom that are kind of like
Yes.
subtle, but are still like, if you pull this out of your pocket and people see it and they love TNG, they'll want to talk to you about it,
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so one of the principles of our brand is like we want to make collectibles that you can use.
Hmm.
So
I
that's
love
one
it.
of yeah.
I absolutely love it, and especially like if you're at a big or a small convention, you're waiting in line to like meet that guest or something like you
Hmm.
and your lips are chapped because let's face it, a lot of conventions happen in very dry areas.
Oh yes. Oh yes. That's really funny that you bring it up because that was my exact line of thinking was like, what would I want to have on me at a convention? What would
Yes.
I need like on my person to just whip out of my pocket? And lip balms are just like the most universal thing
Oh yeah.
that everyone can use. And so this is for, Trek fans headed to the next, Trek convention, headed to the cruise. If you're going to any other convention, you've got this that you could keep in your pocket or your
Yeah.
bag or your jacket, something very, very easy to, just use and show off your fandom.
Yeah, I think I like I said, I just think it's awesome, and especially like with the colors, and then like I can see eventually like going to um Deep Space Nine, going to well, like Voyager and TNG kind of have the same look anyway, but like
Mm.
I could see you doing a Voyager line too, like a
Hmm.
Neelix thing or something like that.
Oh my
Um
God, that'd be so cool.
oh yeah. Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Even like Enterprise, like having the jumpsuits with the accents or
Hmm.
lower decks would be fantastic. Like I think yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential with these two, and I use all natural flavoring oils
Yes.
with my lip balm. So like I could find plenty of different flavors to match to those characters and those
Yeah.
divisions and stuff to really expand the line. And that's totally what we're looking at for the future. We want to definitely do more Trek inspired lip balms. We want to look at other fandoms that we love
Yeah.
and create things for them because I mean, you and I are both diehard Star Wars fans,
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
yeah, and the wonderful thing about being a Star Wars fan is that we are deeply overserved in the merch community right now. Like growing up, it was so hard to find stuff as like a girly, and now I'm just like almost overwhelmed with things
Yeah.
and a little makeup history for you
Sure.
about Star Wars in particular. The first Star Wars makeup line actually debuted in 1999. It was from Yves Saint Laurent, which is like one of the most high end brands out there. If you're into fashion or makeup or anything, the name Yves Saint Laurent. And they created a makeup collection inspired by Queen Amidala to go with the TPM like merchandising market. And I was 10. So I didn't know much about it. And if I
Yeah.
did, there was no way my mom was going to buy me like Yves Saint Laurent makeup that was like $50 for an eyeshadow palette. But Star Wars has been making makeup in
Oh
an
yeah.
abundance since like I want to say 2015 was
Mhm.
like really when they did a great line with CoverGirl for The Force
Yeah.
Awakens. They got Janelle Monáe to model for that collection. And now we have the ColourPop line. We have Pat McGrath. We have Her Universe did a
Yeah.
line. And like, it just feels like every day there's a little bit more for us. And when I was looking at, especially when I was looking for things for me as a Star Trek fan who
Mhm.
was also a lady type. I I found that I was deeply underserved. Star
Yeah.
Trek had an incredible, honestly, like beautiful brand collaboration with MAC Cosmetics
Mhm.
in I think 2016 2015, 2016 for the 50th anniversary of Star
Yes.
Trek, where yeah, so they did a very nice but small makeup collection. I remember at Comic Con they had like a whole
Yeah.
platform that was shaped like the Enterprise that you could like go into and get your makeup done, and I absolutely did, so that I was like ready to party that night. Like I looked so
Nice.
good. And then there was nothing.
Yeah.
and and so I wanted to, with this brand, I really want to create things that,
Mhm.
fans of I would say underserved fandoms
Yes.
want, yeah, but they're not getting.
Mhm.
And also it's just like, it's fandoms, it's fan spaces, in summer, little preview for you. This is the
Sure.
first time I'm talking about it
Yeah.
in a public space, but it's going to also debut. Like the news of it is going to drop on Saturday. We are doing a collection called Bookish Bombs. So another lip balm collection, but our first tinted lip balm collection that is inspired by book tropes. So we
Nice.
have we have an enemies to lovers collection that we're putting together. We have a coffee shop AU. We have all sorts of little like tropes that we love to look for in books.
Yeah.
So that's going to debut, and it's going to be a tinted balm collection. So there's going to be some color in it for folks who want some of that color but don't
Mhm.
want to like wear heavy lipstick. And
Yeah.
from there, we're gonna keep developing, and we have a lip gloss line planned. We have a stain and a lip stick line planned, and then we're gonna expand into eyes and all of that other those other
That's
spaces. But yeah.
that's awesome. Like, I think that's great, and I love the bookish, the bookish take on it. Like, I think that's
Mhm.
great. Like, me, like, I got back into reading because of Star Wars canon, especially like the High
Nice.
Republic and stuff. But
Yeah.
like, and that was a few years ago. But like now, like I'm just reading everything. So like
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, oh, you mean like cozy fantasy will have
Mm,
like a thing, or like
mm-hmm.
you like reluctant hero would have like a thing. Like
Yes.
I think that's great. Like that to me is just awesome. Um, and
Mm-hmm.
and I love that you are branching into other fan spaces, as you said, because that is the big thing. Like not a lot of fan spaces are represented. Like the
Mm-hmm.
bookish community has book talk, it has bookstagram, and sometimes booktube, but like, yeah, where are the bookish where's the bookish stuff? Like,
Yeah.
absolutely. Like, I think that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely like that's really the driving factor, is considering
Yeah.
communities that haven't been served and showing, I guess, kind of showing the big guys like, well, we're here and we want these things, and
Yeah.
here are all the people who are now running around with like my Boldly Glow collections and
Yeah.
my Bridge Crew collection and all that, and I just want to be able to like serve that purpose,
Yeah.
I think, with all the things that I have learned and all the silly, like the combination of like beauty and science and fandom
Yeah.
that like has become what I do today.
Mhm.
I want to really do something special there, and like we've got some ideas cooking on the tabletop community, which is like my bread and butter.
Yeah.
Like I've been in tabletop gaming for
Yeah.
upwards of like 12 years now. I started at Geek and Sundry. I work at Hunters Entertainment as the marketing director now. I
Mhm.
perform in the AP space with you, and so so I've wanted to really give us more stuff too that isn't just like action figures or like.
Yeah.
And this is not a complaint because I am a dice goblin, but like here are more dice. Like there's more beyond dice and like figurines and stuff that and
Yes.
accessories that we can still put to use. You play
Yeah.
an 8-hour tabletop game, you're gonna want to refresh your lips a little or something. And
Exactly. And
yeah.
like I could see I love that you talk about tabletop gaming. Like I could see you putting together a geeky campaign, like using
Hmm.
boldly glow. Like I think that would be amazing. Like,
Oh, I'm gonna hit you up when it comes time for that now. We're gonna produce a whole AP about
yeah,
this. Like, this is gonna
yeah.
be great.
Like I think that that would be cool. And like I when you were talking about the tabletop gaming, I'm like Critical Role partnership when?
They've
Like
got my number. Like I said, I was at Geek and Sundry, so I was
yeah.
part of the pre-launch marketing campaign for Critical Role, and a lot of my the overlap there is really high. So yeah,
Yeah.
not to
Yeah.
give away all my plans or anything, but they will be hearing from me because I'm definitely like thinking
Yeah.
about those ideas and like what the
Yeah.
first big IP I want to approach is.
Yeah.
So they're certainly on the list. Like I love everybody over there, and I have
Mhm.
a lot of good friends who work there, and there's a lot of crossover between Critical Role and Hunters Entertainment right now, and Dimension 20 and all of
Yeah.
that. So I definitely I'll be ringing
Yeah.
them up soon.
So I don't want to, like you said, we don't want to give everything away because there's
Yes,
so much in the pipeline, and it's really awesome, and it's so cool. Like seriously, it's so cool.
thank you,
And as one of your friends, I am so proud of you. Like seriously, I am so proud of you. I am so happy for you.
thank
Um,
you so
oh
much.
yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about different fandoms because we said that we would not only talk about this, but we'd talk about different fandoms and everything.
Yeah.
And like, if you want to talk Star Trek for a while, we can talk Star Trek for a while. We can talk whatever. We can talk Star Wars because
Well,
Andor is coming up.
that's true. So we've got Andor, and then both of you and I are both like huge theme park fans, and
Yes.
I could definitely, I mean, if we want to shift that way, there are
Yeah.
some big events happening this year with both Star Trek and Star Wars at theme parks, so we can talk a
Mhm.
little bit about that if you want.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So let's actually talk. Let's stick to Star Trek since we kicked
yeah.
off with Star Trek. You're going to fan nights at
Oh my gosh,
Universal.
I'm so hyped for FanFest nights. When they announced it and they were just like, and these are like three of the fandoms you'll have there, and it was like Star Trek, Back to the Future, D&D, One
Hmm.
Piece, and a few other anime, and I was like, holy crap, Star Trek at a theme park! Like I, you've been following me on social for
Oh
years,
yeah,
and I've been begging for this,
yeah,
and the thing about Universal that I mean, and that like a lot of fans who are really into theme parks know is that with horror nights, a lot of the things they do there are testing grounds for what
yeah,
they want to bring to the parks next. And I'm pretty sure that this is no different. Like this
yeah.
is them seeing like, okay, we're going to put together. So they have Star Trek, Back to the Future. They're doing Dungeons and Dragons, and then a bunch of anime and some other things. But of course, Star Trek is like the big thing I'm like the most
Yeah.
excited for. And they're going to be doing like special merch and special food and stuff. My friend Sabina Graves over at IO9 did a great write up on like everything they're doing. But there's going to be a live activation that I am really excited for. Like,
Nice.
I I completely missed the Star Trek experience in Las Vegas. I've never
Yeah.
been. Like there are some immersive things I've been very lucky to do when it comes to Star Trek, but I've never had like the full blown immersive experience. And like so, the concept behind this is it is a full immersive experience that takes place during the time of Star Trek Picard. And this is
Mm.
after I think maybe after season 3. Don't quote me on that. But the story that they're putting out makes me think, yeah, it's just after season 3. So Geordi has restored the Enterprise D, and it's in the museum and stuff.
Yeah.
And the concept is that like you board the Enterprise D for like a tour or something like that, and something goes wrong, and then you have to be part of say like battling, yeah, battling these foes and like saving the ship and like all this stuff. And I'm so excited.
I'm
Because oh,
yeah.
go on.
No, no, you go. You go.
So
Go.
the centerpiece of all of this is that they are bringing the real set of the bridge
Yep.
of the Enterprise D to this experience that was built for the last season of Star Trek Picard, and I am so excited for that. Like I can't believe that they're because if you if you followed like Star Trek Picard and things with the set design, you know how precious that carpet is.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested in how they're going to like maneuver us around the bridge and what our roles are, what we're gonna do. And so yeah, I'm so hype. And like I my dad is the one who got me into Star Trek and Star Wars and all this, you know, like that was what was on TV because he was watching it. And so I'm really excited because like I'm bringing him to this. I'm going to fly him out and bring him to the set of the Enterprise D, and we get to like experience that as a family. So uh
I am so excited for you to experience that. Like that is so awesome.
I'm
So I'm looking at the website right now.
hmm
And it looks like it's post Picard. It does look
yeah,
like it's post Picard because I'm looking at they have a picture of somebody in the uniform, and it has the Picard Delta.
yeah,
Um
yeah.
yeah, so it has the different Star Trek Delta.
Hmm.
And then I'm looking at engage your appetite. You can go to Quark's Cafe,
Hmm.
and with special theme foods such as the triple truffle trio,
Oh,
and you can go to 10 Forward, which that's awesome. Like,
I'm so excited. Like, I have a feeling we're going to spend a lot of time in that space, which is, you
yeah,
know, I'm going to end up doing a lot of time management that day because it's like you only have so much time at a
yeah,
Universal nighttime event, and then the very next day we're going to Anaheim to go to Galaxy's Edge and bring my dad to that. So it's like, okay, we got to make sure we do this, this, and this, and this, but then
yeah,
have him asleep by like 11. So he can get up and be like a functional human the next day.
yeah.
So, but yeah, I have a feeling that's gonna take up a lot of time. Like
Mhm.
the Back to the Future overlay looks so cool. So like
Yeah.
not to like
No, it's
dirge
fine.
from or whatever. I don't know
Diverge.
what word I'm looking. Diverge. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. I'm so hyped, man. But so they have the Hill Valley set at the Universal theme parks over here, or park.
Yeah.
Our Universal is a very small Universal
Yeah.
Studios that is built on top of the hill that like overlooks the actual studio lot where they make things for Universal and NBC and all of that. And so we have a studio tour where you actually do go through working sets.
Nice.
And parts of those studio tours are, you know, classic sets. So one of those is the Hill Valley courtyard, the centerpiece really of Back to the Future, where the clock tower is. And there was a fire there, and they had to rebuild it for like a long time ago. But really, it's on the studio tour. You just kind of drive through it, and there's really not much going on. They give you the history, but it's sort of just like a set that has stood still in time for the longest amount of time possible. So what they're doing is you will board the tram as you do to go to that set, and somewhere in between, like you're going to get picked up and sent through time and transported to Hill Valley 1955, and that whole area is going to be overlaid to 1955, and you're basically going to like experience the events of the first Back to the Future movie. So I'm
Nice.
just like,
So, like, if you wanted to hang out in the malt shop, like, you could hang out in the malt shop.
that's what I'm gleaning from it. And the thing that I read in the IO9 write up that was so interesting is that there is going to be a moment in each like cycle of presentation, like, you know, since it's boarding the tram and going, I think they're going to crowd control that a little bit and
Yeah.
have different groups go in at certain times. But during your experience, lightning is supposed to strike the clock tower, and you'll see Marty like zipping through in the DeLorean and then, you know, going where he goes, which is off that set. He does go, you know, it's not, he doesn't travel through time in the courtyard. He like turns the corner toward the
Yeah.
theater. So I'm sure he, you know, the car will turn the corner and some lights will happen and stuff. But I'm very interested in what they mean by like lightning will strike the clock tower, because like we're gonna be there. There's nothing. So I don't know if it's going to be a screen or like a lighting effect or something. But what I do know is that there's probably going to be a stunt performer up there as
Yeah.
Doc, and that is a full-sized clock, like it's a building. so so I don't envy that guy, whoever he is, but I appreciate him.
So, Universal has found a way to control the weather, so they're actually going to
Yeah,
generate a
somehow.
thunderstorm. Yeah,
Yeah, they're going
yeah.
to control the weather so that that lightning hits several times a night during FanFest nights.
Um,
So,
as I want to save like one of the best for last when we're talking about FanFest nights here. Um,
mhm.
so I see One Piece is getting a whole zone, which I think is really
Mhm.
cool. Which I actually got into One Piece via the live action One Piece.
Wow, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I love it. Like I think it's great. And I think it's a great story. The
Mhm.
anime itself is a little too long for my taste, but you
It's been
know,
running for like 20 years.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it is one of the it's right alongside Naruto where
yeah,
like they came out around the same time and they're still going. So,
yeah. Then there's Jujutsu Kaisen, which is it looks like it's going to be a stage show.
mhm.
And then they've got the thing that we don't really talk about too much here.
Yeah, yeah, that other
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah,
That's going to be kind of small too. So,
yeah,
we're planning on breezing right past it because it's like
yeah,
here's some puppets. Like, no, I'm good. I'm good on that. I don't need it. Yeah,
And then there's Super Nintendo World, which I want to go so bad because it looks
yeah.
so cool.
I
Um,
haven't been yet, and my dad is like a super huge Super Mario fan. Like before he grayed out, he did in fact look like Super Mario, and he used to cosplay as Super Mario all the time when we would go to conventions together. So he is especially excited for that, and I am excited
yeah,
for him.
yeah. We're getting Super Nintendo World here or on the East Coast.
Yes.
I say here meaning the East Coast.
Yes.
Um, in just in less than well, previews are already happening, but it
Hmm.
officially opens in less than 2 months. And then
Yes.
as tabletop fans, they've got a Dungeons and Dragons experience, which I think is really cool.
I so okay, so this one is really interesting to me because gosh, what was it? I think Comic Con 2022, I want to say.
Mm,
There was a Dungeons and Dragons immersive experience based on the movie. So I
yeah,
think that was a testing ground for what this is going to be because you did go in, you like entered a tavern and like a dragon attacked and like there was a whole deal and there were special drinks and stuff like that. But this seems a little bit more participatory than that was because you kind of just like stood around and saw stuff happen and like the dragon showed up and like yelled at you a bit and then you just left.
as you're sipping a drink.
Stop drinking so much. No, yeah, he just blew some coke at you. So I'm excited for this one because it looks like it's something that it's like the Picard experience where like
Yeah,
your actions affect what your
yeah.
experience will be. So I'm hype. I'm
Um,
really excited.
and we get to see a really cool location too with Waterdeep.
Yes.
Which I mean, Waterdeep doesn't get as much love as it should.
Mm-mm. No, it doesn't.
Honestly, it's such a cool city and such a cool setting for like I've ran D&D one shots that have just taken place at Waterdeep because like
Hmm.
it's just such a huge experience.
Yeah, I
Or
am
it's
so excited to see it like truly come to life around me
yes.
and you said it yourself like as D&D fans like this is something that we've sort of imagined and we've seen the art but we've never
Yeah.
gotten to be in it. So
Yeah.
I'm
That's
excited.
that's one of the cool things about just fantasy worlds in general.
Hmm.
Like seeing various people's interpretations of those worlds and like
Yeah.
those places, it's really cool. Looks like there is going to be a tavern that you can go to called the First
Hmm.
Roll Tavern. um you can get a hunter's mark or a red dragon's breath.
Hmm.
Be sure to save room for fireball dessert.
Oh
And
my.
then, yeah, and then they're gonna have merch too with
Hmm.
apparel and all sorts of stuff. That's really cool. And it looks
So
like
excited.
Xanathar the Beholder is going to be a big part of the Waterdeep experience.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of like, that's the one experience I'm a little scared of. Like, I think it's gonna be a little intense, but I'm ready. Like, I'm ready to do
Yeah.
it. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh, totally, totally. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be at Soundstage 15 at
Yes.
Universal Studios Hollywood, and then Picard is in Minions Land.
Yes. Yeah. It's really fun. Like when they announced it and they released the map, I was like, "Is that the Minions building?" But there's like a studio building like right
Yeah.
behind it where like I guess that's where the experience is going to be. And I feel like Horror Nights fans will be able
Yeah.
to, they probably recognize that location or something, because
Okay.
that's what those spaces are often used for every year
Yeah.
at Horror Nights, is to build out a house basically that
Yeah.
people will walk through. But I'm a scaredy cat and I've never been to Horror Nights,
Yeah.
so
No.
I couldn't speak on it. But yeah, but it was greatly amusing that it's just like we're probably gonna like pass by the Minions building before we go into the Star Trek area. So
I'm like you. I'm a big scaredy cat. I can't stand horror things at all. So I have no desire to go to horror nights.
mhm.
However, like I get what you mean. Like I've seen like footage from like houses and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
I watch the
Yeah.
videos at home from the
Yeah.
people who do the walkthroughs, and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I want to see the Ghostbusters one, and
Yeah.
I want to see
Exactly.
like the Stranger Things ones and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So yeah,
Like more of the sci-fi ones, like I'm good with,
yeah,
like with
hmm,
Ghostbusters, Stranger Things, yeah, because like I've watched some of Kaylin's videos,
hmm,
yeah,
yeah, hmm.
um, and I'm like, oh okay, and then like she's like, we're going into this house, and I'm like, no, we're not. I'm gonna
No, I'm
turn this off
good. Good
now.
on
I'm
that
good.
one. I do not need to go into the It house. I don't need to
Yeah,
watch that. I'm
nope,
good.
no, 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 no. I'm good. I'll stick with Ghostbusters and Stranger Things. That's as far as I'll go.
Hmm.
Um, Yeah, but no, that's awesome. As theme park fans, I'm really hoping that this is a huge success that they bring it to Orlando.
Yeah.
Um, because I would love to experience that in Orlando. However,
Hmm.
this is making me go, well, maybe next year I should plan a trip to California and
I think
do
you
that.
should. Yeah, I think you absolutely should. I've been trying to get so many people come out to this, because I like you. I want it to be a huge success, not just so that they'll continue to do fan fest nights, but so that a lot of these IPs expand into the parks. Because
Yeah,
that's one of the really cool things about Epic Universe opening this
yeah,
year, is that they have more land to expand on with that
yeah,
property, and they can create new portals that you can go through at Epic Universe. So if these are successful, we might see a Star Trek portal at Epic Universe someday.
yeah,
We might see a Dungeons and Dragons like area or something like that at what a Universal Park. And then I also want them to be super successful, because my when they announced One Piece, I will
mhm,
say there is a One Piece stunt show that is almost exactly like Waterworld
yeah,
at our Universal Parks. And Waterworld, let's set the movie aside for a moment. Waterworld, it is one of the best stunt shows I have ever, hands down, seen. And
mhm,
I grew up in Florida, where like all those like super badass stunt shows during the 90s
yeah,
were. So that's a high bar to match for me.
mhm,
But Waterworld is so impressive. The feat of the stunts they do, the special effects, it's also wild. And the Universal Japan Park has a One Piece stunt show that is very, very similar. And so imagine my disappointment when it was like, yeah, so this year it's just going to be like some food and some character meet and greets and nothing else. And I'm like, Waterworld is right there. Just put the boat in there. Like, I know it's money, I know, but like that's what I feel is happening, is that like they don't want to overinvest, especially
yeah,
in the anime properties yet. So I am begging fans to like make sure you show out for this event. If you
Yeah.
are even a little interested in it, if you're only going for the anime, then like who knows, maybe you'll get into Star Trek, maybe you'll
Yeah.
go enjoy the Dungeons and Dragons house. Like these things are really really cool and exciting, and
Hmm.
if we show up, if we talk with our money, I'm
Oh
sure
yeah.
that next year we're gonna see an expansion on those anime properties, because I feel like that is where they see the biggest risk here in America, because even though anime is now like a multi-million dollar industry here, they're
Yeah.
still kind of stuck in those old like cycles of like, oh well, anime fans are only like a few
Yeah.
nerds and stuff, and like that is so not
Like
true.
so speaking of anime, and then we'll go on to the Disney side of things here in a
Mhm.
second. But like, could you imagine like a Gundam thing, like them building like a life-size Gundam, like
My I would be so freaking happy if
yeah,
they did that.
like
Oh my god.
because you and I grew up with Toonami. So
Hmm.
like we had Robotech, we had Sailor Moon, we had Dragon
Hmm.
Ball Z, we had Gundam Wing.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
like the Toonami fan in me is like, "Oh, if they do Gundam, like
Yeah.
I'm there for it."
I
Like,
am there in a heartbeat. Like I'm there
yeah.
anyway, but like
Yeah.
oh man, like having a live action like Gundam experience here in America. We've had like pop-ups and stuff, especially
Yeah.
over in LA, like they've had Gundam pop-ups, especially with like
Mhm.
the Netflix debuts and things like that. But like the money I would
Yeah.
pay for an
Yeah.
immersive Gundam experience at a Universal park, like
Like, even just import the one that they had at the Yokohama base in Japan.
mm-hmm,
Like bring that RX-78 over and you're
mm,
golden. Like that
oh
would
my
be
god.
amazing.
Yeah, I
That'd
am.
be so cool.
Yeah. So please, if you're considering going to Universal Fan Fest nights and you have the means, like, please go. This is me personally just begging for my
Yeah.
incredibly selfish reasons. Like, I want this to be a hit, so I want
Oh yeah.
everybody to go who can.
Yeah, me too. Like
Mhm.
I think that this is a huge opportunity.
Yeah.
And especially and I'll get to this later because like I kind of want to talk fandoms with you
Hmm.
a little bit later, but let's shift experiences to Disney where you encountered Luke Skywalker.
I saw Luke go. It was really special. Like okay, this is just like a little thing for everyone, but like it's kind of a big thing for me. I've never been there when they debuted a character.
Oh wow.
And yeah, and so basically my friend Sabina, who I said mentioned earlier, she works at IO9. She was there for the media event, and she so graciously asked me to be her plus one. And so I had no idea what to expect. I was just there as like her brainless princess friend. So I it was like the first time I'd been at Disneyland where I just had no plan whatsoever for the day. I was just like, whatever you say, what I'm going there. Um,
Those are the best. Those are the best
it's
days.
great. I loved it. It was so much fun. So we pulled up to Disneyland. We like met with her parents.
Hmm.
She has an adorable little baby, so her parents were like helping while she was working, taking the baby around the park and stuff. And we got to Galaxy's Edge at like I want to say like right around 1:30, and a bunch of the press folk were there. Or 2:30, I'm sorry, it was 2:30, and a bunch of our other press friends were there.
Yeah.
Kitra and Peter from Ordinary Adventures, a lot of the Disney vloggers that I love, the Sky Talking or
Yeah.
Skywalking Through Neverland podcast was there,
Yeah.
and it was really fun. The whole day felt like a mini celebration, so it was really cool. But we were going to go, media check-in was at like 3 p.m., so we were all kind of around the Falcon because media check-in was at those big giant doors they're like just to the right of the Falcon at our parks. I know
Yeah.
the Walt Disney World layout is a little bit different from there, but so that's where that was. And so
Yeah.
we were hanging out, and then like this one of the, the screaming, not the screaming, the flyover noise happened, but then another noise happened after it that sounded like a landing like sound, and like there were some beeps and boops and stuff, and then like everyone turns at the same time, and we see Luke Skywalker walk out through that backstage area with R2, and just like
Mm.
everyone goes bananas. Like it was awesome. And it's so funny because like, okay, so Mark Hamill is kind of a little guy, you know, he's
Yeah.
not super tall, and all that. And this Luke is kind of height accurate. So like I made the joke yesterday on Blue Sky that it was kind of
That's awesome.
funny to see him like walking around, because you would see a crowd of people and go like, what is happening there? And then you'd like see the very top of Luke's wig like in the middle of the crowd, and it's so funny. But like he looked great. Like he's
Yeah.
in his Return of the Jedi robes, so all black. He's got his little dramatic cape, and like he has his little Chanel boots on, and everything. So he looked incredible, and like the actor was fantastic. And this was my first time, like I said, seeing like the guy in the commercial was the guy that I saw there, which was
Yeah.
really cool. And yeah, it was just great. Like I think he spent like an hour walking around that first
Mhm.
time, and he was out a bunch on Friday, which was kind of funny because like he would go out for an hour, and then Ray and Chewie and Vi would come from backstage, and
Right.
they'd go out for an hour, and then we'd go back to Luke, and then I think there was a part of the media day where there was a meet and greet with him right by Savi's workshop, and like everyone got to take a photo with him. Yeah, so it was very, very cool. So seeing Luke debut was like super special, but like what happened next was even more special.
Go for it.
So of course we saw Luke, we got our footage and stuff, and
Hmm.
like I just uploaded it to the internet immediately. I sent some of my footage to Candace at the Geeky Waffle, because I was
Yeah.
like, here, get some hits, like. And that video is doing really well. It's humble brag. So after that, we went and we did media check-in, which started at 3, and they gave us wristbands, and they were like, all right, go ahead. And I was like, what do you mean go ahead? And Sabina was like, chill, come with me. And we went backstage
Oh
behind
wow.
Galaxy's Edge. And I'll admit it was not my first time backstage, because I had accidentally wandered out of the wrong exit of Rise of the Resistance once, and ended up, because I was looking to get out of the line and go to the bathroom. So I ended up backstage then. It was like, oh no, and kind of came back. But yeah, they let us backstage to this contained area, and I quite literally mean that, because there were giant space storage containers that were like covering the area like walls,
Yeah.
and it was just like this beautiful setup of all of the cool stuff that they're debuting, the merch, the
Mm.
food, all of that for Season of the Force. And then so that was half of it, and then the other half was for Star Wars nights, so all the merch, food, etc. for Star
Nice.
Wars nights. They brought out one of the photo ops that they're going to be using, which is the speeder bikes from Return of the Jedi. So that was really cool, and the High Republic authors were at that event too. So it was so dope. Like so it was like Zoraida Cordova, George Mann,
Yeah.
Kevin Scott, Alyssa Wong was there, Claudia Gray. Claudia, was it Claudia? I think it was Claudia.
I know Charles was there.
Charles Soule was there. Yeah, so there was, it was most of the
Yeah.
luminaries. Many of the original people from
Hmm.
Project Luminous were there, doing very cool, interviews and stuff. And I waited till they were all done with their interviews to like, because I, like I said, I was the little like plus one, so I didn't want to interrupt anybody's
Oh.
actual work like they were getting paid for. So I waited till everyone was done, and then I went over and said hi to them and caught
Mhm.
up. Like a few of them and I like have met and worked together before, so I went and
Yeah.
said hi. And then Matt Martin from Lucasfilm, who works on the stories of Galaxy's Edge, like he is one of the story developers there. I met him in like 2012 when he was still working social for Star
Yeah.
Wars. So I went and caught up with him, and that was very nice. And it was just, like I said, it felt like a mini Star Wars celebration, because like, yes, it was them, but it was also like all of my friends that I've met in media for like the past decade and a half that I've
Mhm.
been working in this space. And they were all there in one place. And I got to say hi to them and just spend this whole day with like running into and out of places with them and
Mhm.
checking out the new merch. We tried some of the new food, which is oh so good. There's so much good food out there, and there's like really neat merch too. There's like this
Yeah.
gosh tauntaun. Okay, so there's a
Yeah.
tauntaun popcorn bucket, and I know that the Death Star popcorn bucket is like the diamond of the season for us right now, and everybody wants it, and it's totally cool in real life. But if you cannot get the Death Star bucket, the tauntaun bucket is pretty freaking cool. The tail is like unreasonably soft for like no reason.
Okay.
It like swings around back and forth, and then the tauntaun makes, I believe it was 5 different sounds.
Nice.
And then you like pop open the back and like put your popcorn in it, which is very
Oh,
cool. I would have suggested the stomach, but he stands
yeah.
upright. So you can't have it in the
Flip
stomach,
him over.
unfortunately. Yeah, yeah. So you have to put it in through the back. But it was very, very cool. Like that was a really big one. They have a coaxium sipper.
I did
Um,
see that.
Oh, it's so neat. I love it. So it's a big old like coaxium container, like you have to retrieve on Smuggler's Run. And
Mhm.
then the like inside, when you flip it open, the actual like coaxium like holder like pops out of it. And that's where you put your drink and stuff. And then you seal it up, you pop your straw in, and you've got your coaxium sipper, which I thought was really, really cool. What else? Oh, I when I was looking at previews for Star Wars nights, I noticed that like the Dagobah, like the Yoda beignets, were not on
Yeah.
the list this year, and I was very scared because I've never been to Star Wars nights, and I've been wanting to try one of those things. But I can reassure everyone that they were in fact at the press event, so. You will be getting your Yoda Dagobah bites. The Yoda beignets will be at the Mint Julep station like they are every single year. Thank goodness. And there's a really cute like Leia cinnamon bun ice cream thing, and just like so, my mouth is watering just like thinking about this stuff. But
I I I
uh,
saw the Mythosaur mug, the
yeah,
Mythosaur egg mug that you
yes.
can get at Oga's.
Oh, yeah, they've got some really cool. They have a couple new tikis at Oga's that are
Nice.
really neat. And a couple new drinks. And this is out right now. There is a High Republic drink. It's called For Light and Life that you can go and get at Oga's right now.
I want to go so bad.
Yeah.
Go so
I
bad.
always ever you're not one of these types who like gets mad about it, but like it always kind of delights me when like Walt Disney World elitists get mad about what we get, because like
Oh, yeah.
all for the rest of the year they're like, our park is bigger and our castle is bigger and we have all this stuff, and then the moment we get anything neat at Galaxy's Edge, it's just like, how dare you?
So like there are times when I was talking to my wife and I was like, I
Mhm.
really wish like we were getting Season of the Force at Disney World.
I
Like,
do too.
but I was like, but I'm okay with California getting its own thing because like if you look at Disney World, it has so many after hours events.
Hmm.
It has four at least four different festivals at Epcot going on
Yep.
at any point.
Hmm.
Um, and it is massive. Like it is
Huge.
huge. So
Mhm.
for like Disneyland to get the smaller things, or I don't want to say like smaller things. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Yeah, the
for
shorter
Disneyland
events and
to get Season of the Force, to get like some of the specialty things, I'm like, okay, that's cool. Like,
mhm.
they got their own thing. I know it needs to happen over here, but it doesn't
Yeah.
need to happen over here.
I would love for everyone to get at
Yeah,
least Season of the Force, like because
yeah,
I grew up with Star Wars weekends. Like I said, I was
yeah,
a Florida girly. I got to go to the parks when it was $25 to bring your kids to a Disney park. So I was very lucky. I got to go to all
yeah,
of the Star Wars weekends growing up, and I feel
yeah,
really thankful that like we do get something special like that over here.
yeah.
but yeah, I think everybody should get a season of the Force. Like, who knows? We've got Celebration coming up, and maybe we'll get some really cool announcements. I have my theory is that one of the reasons it's in Japan this year is not just to announce new visions or announce a Star Wars anime, but like I'm pretty sure they're gonna announce a Galaxy's Edge at the Japan parks. Like
Oh yeah.
that's that's my theory is that like that's where the next Galaxy's Edge is going to be.
Yeah.
And as they expand that property in the parks, they need to also expand the events that go on at the parks beyond, what we
Yeah.
get at Disneyland. So, I'm hoping.
So I have a question for you, and if we're taking too long, I apologize.
It's Sunday. I'm not doing nothing.
So I have a question for you real quick though about the Luke Skywalker encounter, because like with Galaxy's Edge, it is very much rooted in the sequel trilogy.
Yes. Yeah.
How jarring is it to have like Luke Skywalker walking around
Hmm.
knowing like Batu is like rooted in the sequel trilogy, or was it jarring?
I mean, so Luke and all of the characters that live in the Mando area,
Mhm.
their walk around area is from the Falcon to the end of the marketplace. So they
Okay.
don't go into the First Order area and they don't go into the Resistance base. The only characters you can encounter there are Rey, Vi, Chewie, and Kylo Ren, and then the First
Okay.
Order stormtroopers. And the way they make it is like the the Millennium Falcon is a bit of a neutral zone,
Yeah.
especially for Luke. Like I haven't seen any of the other non-sequel characters in that
Yeah.
area yet. But for Luke, I guess for this debut day, and because he's Luke, he does walk around the Falcon. But I'm really curious about it. I wonder if it's just like they're getting a little more loosey goosey, but there are also clearly there are rules. Like you don't
Yeah.
see Ahsoka at the Resistance base, you don't see Mando hanging around the Falcon, you certainly don't see any of those characters at the First Order base. But it's also
Yeah.
like how far do we expand this
Yeah.
until it starts getting like redundant? And the other thing is like it because Rise of the Resistance is the way it is, overlaying it to the OT like on like for a season or whatever is impossible. Like there's
Oh yeah.
no way to do that. And so I don't really know what their plans are for the future, and I can't really theorize on it because it's kind of like those characters are trapped in time
Yeah.
ultimately. So it's a blessing and a curse that we do get these characters in this area.
Mhm.
And my only hope for that is that if that marketplace area is it is trapped in time or whatever, that we will see prequel characters eventually
Yeah.
emerge there, because that's kind of the only place they can go. Like they can't even be around the Falcon
No.
really, like.
No. No, they
So
can't. Yeah.
yeah, so
Um,
it's tough.
I could see them expanding like Galaxy's Edge eventually to like do other eras.
Hmm.
Because like you and I both know with I hate coming back to the High Republic, but I love coming back to the High Republic.
Yes.
Um, but like we know that there was a Jedi outpost on Batuu. Like you could
Hmm.
easily expand that out. Like you can
Yes.
do all these different things. Um,
Hmm.
and I love that you were like, okay, he walks the marketplace and the Falcon. That's it. And I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like not having him like because like if he went further like to the First Order section, I'd be like, okay, well this breaks everything that they're trying to do.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And like, I certainly hope people don't, but like he doesn't really know anything that happens after where he is in time, which
Yeah,
I would say that like the space that they have to play with this is that this is Luke up till his appearance in The Mandalorian, because
yeah,
that's what he's wearing in The Mandalorian. That's, so he probably knows about Grogu and Mando, and you could probably talk to him about that. But if you say like, "Hey, where's Ray?" he'd probably be like, who? I
yeah.
don't know what you're talking
Well,
about.
yeah. I mean, and well, two things. Number one, they picked the best Luke. I mean,
Oh,
Return of the Jedi
yeah.
Luke is the best Luke.
Hmm. Yeah.
But like, but then it also goes to the Mara Jade lightsaber is now available at Doc
Yes.
Ondar's.
Mm-hmm.
And like I watched somebody like ask about Mara Jade because they're like, well, who's Mara Jade? And then they say, oh, well, she's a legend
Yeah.
throughout the
Mm-hmm.
galaxy. And I was thinking that's really smart because when
Yes.
they pitched legends to us after New Canon, they said these were the stories that you would hear around a campfire or something like that. And I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking to myself, oh, that's really neat that they're doing that with Mara Jade as
Yes.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a great way to like leave the door open
Yeah.
for her appearance,
Mhm.
however it is. And the thing about Galaxy's Edge is like these cast members are trained up, like they
Yep.
know how to answer your questions about things like that. So like you
Mhm.
said, they talk about her as though she is a legend, she's a rumor, she's a whisper,
Yeah.
she's a story. And that means that, like, yes, if they want to, if they can use her and find a purpose for her to be there, they
Mhm.
can bring her into canon, and
Yeah.
make her that, like, so yeah, I've had a lot of really cool like cast member encounters. Like when I got my Ventress sabers,
Mhm.
there was a cast member who walked up to me while I was taking photos, and was like, oh, I'm an Asajj Ventress scholar. And I was like, well, so am I. Like,
I'm the
we like
CEO.
traded trivia and stuff, but he did it very like in world and was like,
Mhm.
yeah, I researched the history of
Mhm.
the CIS, and like I have all of these books about her, and I've like done all of the studying, and I'm like, that is so cool because that would be me
Yeah.
too. Like,
Um, like I want to talk about those cast member interactions real quick
yeah.
because that's actually like one of the best parts about Galaxy's Edge.
Mm-hmm.
So the last time I was there, it was actually a year ago, and I built a lightsaber,
Nice.
and it
Yeah.
was the first time I had ever done it. And let me tell you, that is an emotional experience as a Star
Yes.
Wars fan.
It
Um,
really is.
that is a deeply spiritual experience as a Star Wars fan. So
Yeah.
I went High Republic on mine. I know, I'm sorry, I'm obsessed.
No, it's great. I went pretty High Republic on mine too. So like I won't, I mean, mine is pretty much just the High Republic build. Like
Yeah,
it's exactly
that's
that.
fine.
Yeah.
Um, but like, I went violet on my kyber crystal because I was like, I've
Mm-hmm.
never had a violet lightsaber. Like, this is
Yeah.
something that's really cool. But the main gatherer, like, I love their interaction with people because there were only 6 of us in our
Mm-hmm.
experience, and so you're allowed to bring guests. So I went with my wife when she built hers, and then she went with me for when I built mine.
Mm-hmm.
And the gatherer walked up to me and she said, "What inspired your hilt?" And I said,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, the Jedi of the High Republic." And she starts telling this story about how where we're at Savi's was part of the Jedi outpost on Batuu
Wow.
during the High Republic era. And part of me
Mm-hmm.
is like, well, that kind of breaks canon with what we got in the one story. But then,
Mm-hmm.
like, part of me is like, oh, I'm eating this up. Like, this is
Yeah.
awesome. Like,
100%.
yeah,
Well, they do that for all of the theme plans. So,
yeah,
and I know this because like our I think our mutual friend, I don't know, my friend Kyle, who's like one of my best friends, has worked in Cars Land and
mhm.
works
Oh, yeah,
is a
Kyle.
scientist at Pim's Test Kitchen.
Yeah,
And Kyle is heavily involved in all of these trainings and stuff. And there's so much work that goes
mhm,
into the more immersive lands. And that even extends to like Fantasyland and stuff. Like
yeah,
all of those cast members know the lore about the princesses. They know how to speak about the characters there. It's created so that you feel not just like immersed in the land, but you're part of the story that's being told every single day. And I've been the most impressed by like the Galaxy's Edge cast members, but also the Avengers Campus members, because
mhm,
they are essentially in a different universe from
yeah,
MCU canon. So their experiences and the things that they remember are just a little different, because different characters are there at different times, and
yeah,
certain people are just not dead, and thank goodness. You can still go see Black Widow at Avengers Campus. She's perfectly fine, alive and well. And they're trained on how to explain why they're there and
Mhm.
what the lore of Avengers Campus is, because it is different from the MCU. So it's really really cool, and like I love that that's the extent of work that Disney storytellers go to make sure
Yeah.
that you're having this full experience.
Yeah. One of the things that I experienced was I met Vi finally on that
Oh,
trip
I
as
love
well.
her. She was out at Season of the Force. So I
She's
was
fantastic. Um, but I asked her like how Pook was from the
mm,
Galaxy's Edge novel, from the Black
yeah.
Spire out novel, and she like went into this whole thing about Pook.
I
And
love it.
I was like, "Oh my gosh, like she knows her stuff." Like
Mhm.
um and then one of our team members here on the Beacon, Allie, she's actually doing a college program right now in
Yeah.
Orlando.
Oh, we love Ellie. Yeah.
And she actually went to Star Wars training, and she's
Mhm.
like, they really train people up.
Yeah.
And like she didn't really go into detail about it.
Mhm.
And I was like, yeah, I don't want you to like really
Oh
go
no.
into
Yeah.
detail about it.
Don't break
Yeah.
an NDA on
Yeah,
me.
yeah, exactly, exactly. But she's like, yeah, they really train the people up. And I was thinking to myself, that's awesome. Like, so for all of them to know their stuff, like even the Mary Poppins my wife and I interacted with a few years ago,
Mhm.
she was all about, she knew the sequel.
Mhm.
So like we asked about the new Banks children and she knew about them. Like that,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, theme parks. But I'm so glad that you were able to experience part of
Yeah.
Season of the Force. That's awesome.
It was very very special, and I'm very thankful to Sabina
Yeah.
for allowing me to come with her. And I she also convinced me to extend my stay because I was gonna leave at like 6 p.m. that day to come back, and she was like, "No, I really want you to stay for the projection show.
Mhm.
The I forgot what it's called. I'm so sorry, but
It's
like
fire.
Skywalker
Yeah,
Fire of the
it's
Rising Moons, or but
fire.
it's not the fireworks show. It is a projection show that happens on the spire. So
Yeah,
if you have been to the land at Universal that we shall not name, that shall not be named or whatever,
yeah, yeah,
it's very much like that castle show,
yeah,
but it's on the spires. And the way they have termed it, I watched the Imagineer video that was released on
yeah.
Friday, where they say this is the theater, like this is where we tell our story. And
Mhm.
it is this like gorgeous beautiful projection on the spires with like special effects of like falling rocks and explosions and fires, and it tells the essentially the story of like this first six movies. And I
Mhm.
know that like there's been some negative reactions to like, oh, why don't they tell the story of the sequel trilogy? But to that, I would say, because you are living in the sequel trilogy. So
Yeah.
they don't know that story yet in that era.
Mhm.
You are living through that story. And that's why, Ray hasn't been named and Kylo Ren isn't named. And
Yeah.
yeah, so that's why we only get those first six.
Yeah, it's called Shadows of Memory: A Skywalker Saga. If you
Yeah.
I did see videos of it. It looks really freaking cool.
So cool. Like
Yeah.
so it was my friend Britt's birthday on Friday, and she is like a huge Skywalker fan, but like a huge Amidala fan, like the biggest
Mhm.
one I know. So I FaceTimed her while we were in the media pit and like had her watch it, like the debut of the show
Mhm.
live, and that was really cool. But it's kind of like so they've got the projection on the screen, but they've also plussed up the effects of the storyteller who
Mhm.
is at Batu. And I don't know if this is at Batu East, but because your your Galaxy's Edge is in a different park, but ours
Mhm.
is situated in such a way that it's right behind the castle. So
Yeah.
the fireworks that come up behind the castle come up around Galaxy's Edge too, and you can see them where the Falcon is. You can see them from the First Order base, and you can see them from the Resistance base. Pretty much all the same, really. And so so what we have over here, outside of the Skywalker story, we have Fire of the Rising Moons, and they've essentially developed a story because we all just kind of like hung out there to watch fireworks instead of going and being all in the crowded castle,
Oh
because there's
yeah.
3 places here that you can watch fireworks in Galaxy's Edge alone. Like, they come up over the spires on the Resistance base and over the spires on the Falcon, and right above where the First Order flag is in the First Order area. So I guess Disney noticed that, and they were like, oh, we should put together like a show or something.
Yeah.
And so we got this droid who is a droid that used to serve this lore keeping storyteller character. And the droid conducts the fireworks, and there's like lights and stuff that go up on our spires while the fireworks are coming up. So they use that storyteller again and put together a hologram effect. So for the Skywalker show, he actually does appear as a hologram right next to where the droid is. And the droid is located on that upper risen stage that's above those big doors near the
Yeah.
Falcon. So that's where they put him. And so the holo projection seems to come out from the droid's side, and you can see the storyteller, and he tells the story of the Skywalkers.
That is awesome. Like,
It is
that is
so
so
cool.
freaking cool.
Yeah,
That
it
is
is
so
really,
cool.
and I think that's their way of like trying to crowd control too, because it's like, well, this is where like you can see the storyteller and the droid and stuff. So please stop crowding up the Resistance base. And I'm like, that's nice. I'm gonna be at the Resistance
Yeah,
base.
exactly. Like, part of me wishes like studios had another fireworks show, that way we could have something like that.
Yeah.
But once again, it's one of those things where I'm like, Disneyland has it. That's cool. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy for, for Disneyland. But then
Mm-hmm.
part of me is like, they have so many opportunities here at Batu
Yeah.
East.
I
But
wonder if it's like because I would figure that was also a no-brainer. Like, I would want
yeah,
that at Batu East too. But like, there's the thing about it is like there's pyro involved,
yeah,
and they have to have proper
yeah,
approvals and stuff to get that pyro, to put it behind the spires, to make sure nothing else blows up near
yeah,
wherever you guys are. So I get why they do it here, because it's kind of like it was already there when Galaxy's Edge was built, because it's right
yeah,
behind the castle, and that's exactly where those pyro spaces are. So
yeah.
it just kind of worked out for us. Like,
But like, for me, I'm like, well, East probably doesn't have it because they don't want to take away from Toy Story Land, because that's
mm,
like literally right
oh,
next to
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Galaxy's Edge, which I will say that is like one of the worst transitions from Toy Story Land to Galaxy's Edge. Like, it's terrible. Um
Oh,
because
yeah.
like you walk out of Galaxy's Edge and like you're abruptly in Andy's backyard and you're like, "Oh, okay." Like,
Yeah, yeah. I took my partner there, I think for like 2 anniversaries ago. We went to Hollywood Studios and did that, and that was it was really jarring for me too, to like go into Galaxy's Edge and be like, wait, wow, this transition is weird. Like,
like
because at
from
least one side is like sort of by where your Star Tours is, and like the
yeah,
Sci-Fi Cafe, and like that kind of works, but
yeah,
like Toy
yeah,
Story Land being on the other side is like, what's going on here? We have the privilege of like that big walkway that
yeah,
goes between Fantasyland and Frontierland, so they built out like wooden structures and rock structures, and the color transition works for us too.
yeah,
So again, it's just like a matter of, we just sort of lucked out with where they decided to put Galaxy's Edge, because it's like it's very easy. We have 3 entrances that all transition very like
yeah,
seamlessly into Galaxy's Edge. So it's like,
yeah.
yeah.
Like, the tunnel from Muppet's Courtyard to Galaxy's Edge is fine.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I love that tunnel because I'm like,
It's
"Okay,
fine.
this
Yeah.
makes sense." Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, walking from Toy Story Land, I'm just like, "Oh,
Hmm.
okay, okay. We didn't
Yeah.
think this one through."
But the only downside to our Galaxy's Edge is if you need to get anywhere that isn't Fantasyland or Frontierland real fast,
Oh, yeah.
it's super hard to do it. Like, there was a moment where
If you're
like I
running.
was halfway into Galaxy's Edge, and Sabina called me and was like, "I'm in Toy Story Land with the baby," and I was like, or not Toy Story, sorry, I'm I'm in Toontown with the baby, and I had to like run out. I had to go through
Yeah.
Fantasyland. I had to go around the castle. I had to do this, and then I finally got to freaking Toontown, which is on the opposite side of Fantasyland from
Yeah.
where Galaxy's Edge is. So it was, yeah, you win some, you lose some.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Totally. Totally.
Mhm.
Totally. But yeah. Oh man, I could talk theme parks with you all day. Like seriously. Um.
I love theme parks, man.
Yeah. Me too. Me too. We're actually going to Disney World in September with my wife's
Nice.
family, and
Yay.
my brother-in-law wants to build a lightsaber, and he wants me to go with him as
Hmm.
his witness. I'm like, is that something that you want to do? Like, and
Oh,
yeah, I mean, I want to.
yeah.
No, I wasn't trying to discourage him because I was like, well,
Hmm.
you can take your wife, and he's like, no, I want you to come with me, and I said, okay, cool. So I'm gonna do that. Um,
Yeah. Yeah,
but yeah, yeah,
I'm excited. I guess the one thing I didn't mention is that
yeah,
there's a new lightsaber experience for Season of the
yes,
Force this year at Disneyland. And thankfully, my dad wants to build a lightsaber, so we're going again during Season of the Force. So I get to go. We get to bring in two guests. So
oh
my
wow,
partner and I will get to go watch him build his lightsaber, but also see this new show
yeah,
or presentation. So I have no idea what to expect there. I feel like they were doing Savi stuff yesterday, but Savi's was also the area that they like used for the Luke Skywalker photo op, so it was down for a
yeah.
little while. So I haven't seen anything of the new experience yet. But it's supposed to be really special, and I'm very, very thankful that my dad was like, I really want to build a lightsaber, because I was like, good, because I want to see this show.
It's
So,
it's called Reclaimed and Reforged.
yes, yeah.
And the scraps are actually going to be scavenged by pirates.
Hmm.
So,
So
s-
that's really exciting.
especially with Hondo being at Galaxy's Edge.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to do it just to be like, so which one of these did Hondo bring home? Like,
Right.
like, which,
Well, Hondo's a legitimate business owner. He's
yeah,
got a lot
yeah,
of
he is,
employees
he
who can do that for him now. So
yes, yes. And then of course, you can build droids and all that stuff.
mhm.
And
Yeah.
um, yeah, we're actually going to take our nephew. He turns 5 in June. We're going
Hmm.
to take him to build a droid when we
Oh,
go in September.
yay! Oh, I
Um,
can't wait.
and my wife and I we're going to be dressed as droid builders because we're part of Droidsmiths Union.
Nice.
So-
Yeah.
yeah, so we're gonna be in our droidsmith get up while we do that with him. So I think that would be really
Amazing.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and don't forget to have your Wookiee cookie either.
Yes. Oh, I did see them IRLs yesterday. They look amazing. I will definitely be having that with like some blue milk or something like that. Or yeah, or I don't know. I'll be honest. I'm not a fan of the blue milk, but maybe it'll taste better with the Wookiee cookie. I don't know. So
I'm
we'll
I'm
see.
a big fan of the green one. I actually like the green milk more.
Yeah, it is really good. My
Yeah.
staple drink at Galaxy's Edge that's non-alcoholic is the Meiluron juice
Oh
at
yes.
Ronto Roasters. That stuff's so good.
Yeah. The Java juice is really good too at Oga's.
And then the hot
Yeah.
chocolate when it gets cold is really great. So,
My wife wants to do a cold brew.
oh, those cold brews are good. There's a latte that they debuted yesterday. So, I have no, I feel like at the very least they should bring the menu items to the East Coast, but
Yeah.
who knows? But yeah, they did debut a couple new caffeinated drinks that I'm really excited to try out. So, yeah.
Yeah, they have fried chicken bows also.
Mm, those
And
things are good. They're like a little spicy. We'll see.
uh
Okay, I'm gonna have to look at them a little closer because like they already had those at our docking base 7. So I don't know why they're out. Like maybe there's something different that wasn't there before that I didn't notice. But the bows are great. They're a little spicy, but they're like not too spicy for me, and
mhm.
I'm not a spicy kind of
Yeah.
person. There's also this like cheese bread on a stick thing that, oh, it's so good, bro. Like we Sabina has a video of me just like taking a bite out of this and the cheese just goes out and
Now I'm
it's
getting
like lean
hungry.
I it was my leaning tower of cheese a moment, like because this cheese just, oh, it's so good. Oh man, I loved it.
Have you have you seen the foot long mozzarella sticks at Tony's at Magic Kingdom?
No, what?
Yeah, at
Oh my
Tony's Town
god.
Square in Magic Kingdom, they have like these foot long mozzarella sticks.
Bro.
And and I keep telling my wife, I was like, we just need to do lunch at Tony's, just get the
Yes.
mozzarella sticks, garlic bread, and then just split an entree. That's it.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, there's so I'm really hungry now. There's so
Yeah,
much good
yeah,
food.
me too.
Mm,
Um, so I want to talk about fandom real quick.
yeah.
So you've been to small conventions like Shore Leave and stuff like that,
Mm,
which I love Shore Leave. I love Farpoint. Um, and I wanted to talk about the Trek fandom real quick
yeah.
because they had Rob Kaczynski at Farpoint this year, and he
Mm,
was talking about how Trek, because like not a lot of people enjoyed Section 31. I've
mm,
seen it a couple of times now. It's better the repeat viewings. And like talking to Rob, like and hearing his passion for the movie, I was like, you know what, I'll watch it again. But he
mhm.
was talking about fandom and how and we were talking about FanFest nights. This is an opportunity to bring in new fans, to
Yes.
make people new
Absolutely.
fans. Because if you look at Star Trek fans, and this is no offense to Star Trek fans, a lot of them are older. A lot of them are, you know, past 50, they're in their 60s, you know.
Mhm.
Um, and then you've got the younger ones like us. Um,
Well, I will say, so one of the things that has happened over the years is
yeah,
that shows like Prodigy and Strange New Worlds, especially, have
mhm,
brought in so many new fans
I
because
agree.
Strange New Worlds is a great drop off point or jump off point because it's like
Hmm.
this is before even the first Star Trek series. These are here's the origin stories of like characters whose, if you're not a Star Trek fan, characters whose faces you know who Spock and Uhura
Hmm.
are, and you know who Kirk is, and this is them before they become them.
Yeah,
So I've seen a lot of new fans come in through Strange New Worlds, and a lot of young fans come in through Prodigy,
yeah,
and I think that was why there was just like such a huge demand for more Prodigy because it was like
yeah,
this is how the kids get into it. Like this is what
hmm,
Star Trek parents are showing their kids
hmm,
because it's a fun like show. It's a
yes,
cartoon. It's not something that otherwise really appeals to us as adults where we're
hmm,
really into the story, but like the kids don't see something fun and exciting when they look at a normal Star Trek show.
yeah, I
So I
agree.
definitely credit it for that, but I fully agree with you that things with like FanFest nights could be a great introductory. That's like why I said, anime fans, I really want you to come to this,
Yeah,
not just so that you can show that you're putting your money where your mouth is with the anime, but so that you can try out other fandoms. You can try
hmm,
out the Star Trek experience where like maybe you don't know everything going on, but like you don't really need to know too
yeah,
much. Like it's fun references for us, but you still get this really
hmm,
cool immersive experience with that, and you get this cool immersive experience with like D&D. So
yeah,
I think yeah, you're completely on the ball there with like this is a great way to introduce those
yeah,
fans to it because I'll be honest with you, like there's only so much for the anime fans unfortunately this year at
yeah,
FanFest nights, but if you show them you want it, and then they'll develop more for that, and then you get the
yeah,
bonus of like kind of sampling other cool fandoms that are
yeah.
there. So yeah.
And in no way am I trying to like alienate fan groups. Like I'm
No,
not trying
yeah.
to do that at all. I'm just trying to say like I noticed that with Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really happy that younger fans are coming in, especially with Prodigy. I think that's
Hmm.
awesome. My wife is not really a Star Trek fan, but she loves Lower Decks.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
she
Lower decks
loves
too.
Lower
Yeah.
Decks. Yeah.
Hmm.
And she like sometimes I have to explain the joke to her.
Yeah.
But she loves Lower Decks.
Hmm.
Lower Decks, and like she loves the Lower Decks crossover of Strange New Worlds, and she loves the musical episode of Strange New Worlds,
Oh,
which
yes,
you and I have
absolutely.
geeked out about quite a bit. Um,
Mhm.
but like even last year, I was talking with Erin McDonald,
Mhm. Oh, I love
which
Erin.
you and I. Oh yeah,
I got a drink with her yesterday. Yeah,
that's awesome.
with
That's
her.
awesome.
Yeah,
She's great. She's
so cool.
absolutely great.
Mhm.
I got to interview her before Farpoint, and then she and I hung out at Farpoint a couple of years or last year.
Mhm.
And she's great.
Mhm.
She's absolutely great. But talking to her, and she was talking about how like she's trying to do more in the Star Trek community to get more fans in and to get more
Mhm.
people in because there are some amazing stories there. There are
Yeah.
absolutely amazing stories. Um,
Mhm.
Deep Space Nine is my favorite Trek, like
Yes,
that,
I love it.
because it's just so good. It's just so good.
Mhm.
Um, and she and I geeked out about Deep Space Nine, but then we also talked about how underrated Enterprise was. Like
Mhm.
Enterprise
Yes.
is completely underrated. Um,
Mhm.
I'm not a big fan of Discovery. Like I tried, but it was so hard for me to get into.
I think that's the cool thing about Star
Yeah,
Trek. And it's
absolutely.
very similar to Star Wars where like
Yes.
there are so many different types of Trek that
Yep.
if you want a fan who's looking for a political drama, there's a Trek for that. If you
Yeah.
want a fan who wants something that's a little more out there and like more fantasy, there's
Mhm.
a Trek for that. And I
Yep.
think that's what's special, that like people who aren't Trek fans don't really know about it.
Yeah, I agree.
So I hope they continue to develop more things
Me too.
like FanFest nights and like Prodigy and like Strange New Worlds that are like, well, this is a non-judgmental place for you to come
Absolutely.
try this out, and see if you
Absolutely.
like it. Because there's once you're in, once you're a Star Trek fan, it's like there's so much to catch up on, like
Yeah.
I can't give you the exact time estimate on it, but like, watching all of Trek is like more than a week's worth of
Oh,
stuff,
absolutely.
like you and
Especially
discovering all
considering
the
the movies.
games and the
Yeah.
the tabletop adventures and the
Mhm.
books, and there's
Yeah.
this whole space of like beautiful stories and art, and then the fan community is like full of so
Mhm.
many creative people, and sure, there's like a dirge in merch, but there are also fan creators like Boldly Glow
Yeah.
Beauty, but also like Pop Galaxy and like Troublesome Girl Studios
Yeah.
and all of these brands, Elhofer Design, that are all
Mhm.
making these super super cool things that you
Yeah.
can go and celebrate your fandom with. So yeah, so I
Yeah.
please
Um
like Star Trek.
I just think it's great because like with interacting with you and Thomas and Aaron,
Hmm.
and like how you all have these connections to Star Trek Online with you and
Hmm.
Aaron both being characters in Star Trek Online.
Yeah.
Um, I played Star Trek Online when it first launched, and like
Mm,
I dumped a lot of hours into it. But now I'm going back, and now I have a new character again. So like now I'm like starting to get back into it, and it's all
nice.
because of like you and Aaron and Thomas and all of these
Oh.
passionate people for Trek. Um,
Hmm.
and 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 here's the thing that we're trying to say. Yes, we're mostly a Star Wars podcast, but we
Yeah.
have other fandoms.
Hmm.
And we want to invite you to these other fandoms. Like we didn't even really even get into tabletop tonight. That's going to be
Oh,
for a completely
that's a
different
whole
story.
different episode,
Yeah.
buddy.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
like like and I do want to have you on again real soon to talk about
Hmm.
tabletop because I think that
Yes.
would be so much fun.
So
Um
down. Yeah.
yeah, but I just think it was a fun, I mean, fandom is here. Like, join
Mhm.
us, like, and go to FanFest nights. Really, go to
Yes.
FanFest nights.
Please.
Enjoy these things.
I'm so
Um,
I'm so excited because it's gonna feel a lot like, I did Disney this weekend, I did WonderCon this weekend, and just
mhm,
like recapturing that feeling of like being at a convention is
yes,
in spaces that aren't conventions. It's so
yes,
special, and I'm so excited for FanFest nights because it's gonna be like a mini, Star Wars convention, and it's a mini anime convention, it's a mini
yeah,
D&D con, and like all these people are going to converge on Universal Studios for several nights over the course of like April and May.
yeah,
And it's so cool. And tickets are still on sale. So please go. I'm not paid by Universal. I wish I was, but I'm not. But please go to FanFest nights because I want to see this be a success on the scale of horror nights. Because if it
Yeah.
is a success on the scale of horror nights, then you guys get it too, and
Yeah.
and that's the important part.
Oh my gosh, the tickets are
Cheap,
cheap.
cheap. I think they're like 72 bucks or something
74
starting.
bucks for general
Yeah,
admission. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and even like so we got the express badge because I'm going with my dad. I didn't want him to wait in any
Yeah.
lines and stuff. So, and that's not even that horrible. Like in competition with Disney,
Oh
which
yeah.
I got our Star Wars nights tickets and they started at 189. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and so
Oh
it's
yeah.
like this is like peas and crackers
Oh yeah.
in comparison.
I'm looking at the express ticket now and it's 173,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
isn't bad
it's
at all.
no, not bad at all to not wait in any lines. And yeah, so I'm not, I
Even
think it's definitely worth it. And
even the
there's
season
still,
pass.
oh, the Universal Season Pass is magic. I'm going to reiterate that our Universal Park,
I'm sorry. I
very
didn't mean to
small.
interrupt you. I
No, no,
didn't
no.
mean to interrupt you.
It's very small. Like our Universal is in comparison to even the main park that you guys have in
Yeah.
Florida, it is very small. But
Yeah.
it is a very special park. It is, you can, like I said, the studio tour, it's like 2.5 hours long, but it is so worth it. Like you go to active hot sets basically,
Yeah.
like to see shows in production. You get to see set pieces from Back to the Future. The little village where The Good Place was filmed is
Yeah.
still there, and it is still a working set for other shows. And of course there are like special effects things. There's the Kong tunnel. We used to have
Yeah.
the Fast and the Furious supercharged tunnel, but now we're getting the roller coaster, so I think that tunnel is being turned into something else.
Mhm.
There's the crashed airplane from that one big disaster movie. There's all sorts of really cool things there. And then we have our Jurassic World area, the Mummy ride, which is amazing. The Transformers ride, which is fine. But the meet and greet with Optimus Prime, which is so cool.
Yeah.
So it has its charms, and that price is like to in my opinion, that price is really freaking good for a
Yeah.
season pass to Universal, and then you get like all those discounts on City Walk and stuff. God, Universal really needs to hire
I
me.
I'm looking at the ultimate the FanFest Nights Ultimate Fandom Pass. It's 250
Mm-hmm.
for that entire season.
The whole, yep,
Um yeah, and it's like about a month, but
yeah.
still like
But
like
I mean, sorry to interrupt you.
yeah, no, you're good,
But
but yeah.
like what I was saying, like you only have so much time at FanFest
Yeah.
night, which is kind of what I'm worried about is like, how am I going to see all this in one night,
Yeah.
because I know for a fact we're going to probably spend like a whole hour just doing Star Trek things, the
Yeah.
experience, the Quarks bar, 10 forward, looking and buying at merch, all of that's going to take up an hour of our night. And
Yeah.
like, I don't know how long this thing goes. I think it goes to like 11 or something, or midnight maybe. But we only have a certain amount of hours, and we have to do Back to the Future. We have to do D&D. We
Yeah.
have to do Mario.
Yeah.
So getting like one more night would have been really awesome, but like we simply don't have, like, with the way our trip is planned, we don't have that liberty. But yeah, I don't know. I'm waiting for like that first week to happen so that I can start watching videos and coordinating a plan and stuff. So yeah. So yeah, I see why they do the season pass, because there's just a lot to see.
Well, I'm gonna have you as my theme park coverage specialist from now on.
Yes. I'm happy to.
But yeah. So I just want to say thank you once again. This was so
Thank
much
you.
fun.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean we're gonna talk about tabletop at another time.
Mhm.
But Boldly Glow Beauty launches on the 5th, on Saturday the 5th. So excited.
Yay.
They look so good.
And this is like the OG packaging that I put together. Like this was just me, and then like I said, Thomas came in and just finished the new labels this
Hmm.
like today, and like they have, it's beautiful.
It
So
looks.
we will have the new labels on the website. You'll see them there. They're not too different from these. It's
Hmm.
just the back where the ingredients are. We've added some branding to that. There's just like it's so much cleaner because that's literally what he does professionally and I do
Yeah.
not. So okay, so we have like a demo. This isn't the actual label. So we have like we actually put the command
That's
label
great.
on. So
Yeah.
he's changed the in comparison. Here we go. This is what I made. This is what he made. This is why he brings in money for doing this. So he put the actual like pill label on it from
Yeah.
Star Trek to brand it out. That's our little planet logo. It looks like a little eye with eyeliner on it. So and then you've got all the ingredients and stuff, and it's so much cleaner. Like I feel very lucky that he came in and kind of cleaned this up to really make it like finalized packaging. So this is
Yeah.
just the demo he showed me today, and I'm going to be ordering all of that packaging later today, and it's gonna be so cool. I'm so excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I wish you nothing but the best. We are
thank
gonna
you.
promote the hell out of it
Oh,
here on the
thank you so
Beacon,
much.
because it's just awesome. It's just
Yeah,
really cool. So
I have absolutely no idea what to expect with this launch. I have no expectations. I just hope people who buy it really like it.
mhm.
It went through like about I think 3 months of product testing, a year of development, and today Thomas just finalized everything and made it absolutely beautiful. So I hope everybody really enjoys it, and please tell your friends because everybody needs lip balm.
Everybody needs lip balm.
Hmm.
So that's gonna be it for us for today. Katrina, thank you once again. It's
Thank
so awesome
you.
hanging out with you.
Always.
We need to do this again. Well, we need to do this more often.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
but that's it for us this week. Have a wonderful week. And once again, thank you, Katrina. Bye.
Bye.